Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Roller Troll. My name is Wade Acuff, and let's just get out of here. Let's at least get off planet for at least one day. Just a little bit of escape. That's what we're going to do today on Roller Troll. We're going to head to the edge of space and maybe encounter some, I don't know, space pirates or something like that. But first, I have to talk about a little bit how Roll or Troll works. I guess you would need to know that there is a starting poll. If you're over on YouTube, that's where you'll find our polls. If you're on Behance, head on over to YouTube. Jack Watson, thank you, Jack, will have our polls ready, and they'll be popping up all day. So go vote on that while I describe how Roll or Troll works. Like always, we roll a 20-sided die, and then we go over to our key that has our options from 1 through 20. We'll have 2 options each, roughly, somewhere in there. But we'll reveal those as we go, like so. So we've got Retro Let's Go. So that's going to be some sort of ship that could be like, I don't know, retro-ish style. I don't really know yet. Or some kind of just combo conglomerate of a ship. I don't know. But we're going to put all of this into a postcard that I don't really know. All I know is we're sending it back to people on Earth while we're escaping. I do have over on my little sketch layer, I have a rough composition of how this is going to look, maybe at the end. All these decisions get made off and on throughout the stream. And a couple other things that we're going to do differently today. I'm like, hey guys, turn your phones off. No, I don't think I've ever said that. But I usually have my phone tucked away. I've set some alarms for myself. We're going to have something called a troll toll. One of those is an option for us. The other alarm is so that we have time to do a little bit of a character work, possibly, unless the choice comes up, because there is an option that we might roll. So those are kind of what's going on. I'm going to take a look over at our poll. Cosmic Combo seems to be the winner, because we're going to go ahead and get started. Jack, I'm going to end that poll. But in order for us to get started, why don't we start with a roll? Let's see. Let me make sure all this is working. So for the first roll, let's see. Let's get the cam on so you guys can see what's happening. Ooh, there we go. Make a slight adjustment. All right, let's see. First roll of the day is an 11. Stooge. All right, let's go see what that 11 has in store for us. Escape velocity. I don't know what that means yet. I have a clue. We may show some sort of speed or movement on our cosmic combo for our ship. Our pod save us all. We have some sort of escape pod that's going on. I don't know. We'll have to see where that escape pod would work in the composition. But let's go work on this cosmic combo. While you guys decide that, I have a new layer here. I don't know that I need my placeholder comp necessarily. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, what's up, Clever? How's it going? Apurva, how are you? Oliver, good to see you. Alessandra, good to see you as well. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I think our ship's going to be sort of right here. And I thought about pulling up some, in fact, I did. Full disclosure, I pulled up some space shuttle, or space shuttle slash, I guess, boosters, rocket boosters, as a potential a reference for this, but I don't know. I'm gonna riff for a little bit. I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe a combo. What is that bomber? The one with the basically the where the Millennium Falcon shield or one of the windows has that kind of look to it. I like the idea of there being a bunch of, especially with a combo, it can be a little bit janky. So I wonder if there's a way to kind of marry those two things. And all of this will be kind of rough sketch. We might get in tighter detail on some things as we roll them. There might be more options that we need to roll. So the end of the day, we'll have something. It maybe look very rough, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. I thought about trying to paint this, but I think that's not enough. We don't have enough time for that, especially with some of the specific details we get. Possibly roll, I should say. Loriandini, how's it going? Good to see you. Uma Corn, how are you? Just while we're chatting, I did attend another Crits and Castles D&D adventure. I thought about making last week's stream all about that, but we had done that before. I think we did one of my characters based on some of your options. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Always good time. And probably we'll do it again. I don't know. I'm going to flip this around. No, we don't have much going on here, but I do want to make sure that I'm keeping this a little bit even. Well, even, I mean, as far as making my shapes continue to make sense for me. I'm not sure really that we would need wings for any of this. I mean, you know, it's space, right? It's space. There is no wind resistance because there's no wind. All right. Let's see. I don't want to get too... I want to make sure I have like the outline of a ship, something that we could call a ship. But I do like that. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the idea of like tiny little wings. Small little wings. All right, I got to get this shape down before I start going off. Otherwise, it might get away from me. So I kind of started, you can clearly see that I have a, more or less a little tube going on here. And I think it needs to go further back this way for this to work and get rid of that. I think it does more of this if this is our tube shape. And if we had wings, they might go like that. I don't really like that placement, but just kind of hashing it out as we go. So I guess the reason you would have wings potentially is if you're coming back into orbit and you got to fly down, or there is some sort of, I mean, you know, we make this up as we go. So what the heck just happened there? Oh, I have fixed ratio on because we're actually working at a generic postcard size. I'm just trying to elongate this a little bit. I like the idea of having some sort of cargo hold. But this is supposed to be some sort of weird cosmic combo, right? So I don't want it to look too... It needs to be a little bit more junky, I think. Possibly. There may not be any wings on this thing. I don't know. Didn't realize that we had so many. It's the same castle, Jack. It's the same castle. I trekked out into the wilderness and found yet another castle. Maybe we'll hint at some sort of, I don't know, thruster, something. I like the idea of like there's these weird bulkheads. I don't want to get super defined on this yet, but I'm going to just block this out. Just to have a basic shape before we do another roll. Looking like we have escape velocity still happening. I kind of like it. I think I have an idea for that. And I reserve the right to mix it up. We'll get our escape velocity in here, but it may not necessarily be on our main ship. Make sure you get your votes in. I'm going to keep working on this just for a few more minutes. If you want to mix it up, I know we've started with a tie multiple times, and it would be nice to not have a tie, but at the same time, you know, if you want to vote and it's not what you want, you got to choose what you want. So don't pay attention to me if I don't want a tie. That's too bad. Too bad. All right, I said I wasn't going to get any detailed, and I'm not. I'm going to leave it like this for now. This weird kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll put like an underhang neck thing. Maybe some sort of intake. Who knows? All right, so we've got at least the start of some sort of front to this thing. I don't like that shape at all. That's a little better. It really is anything goes at this point, so. All right, I'll leave it like that for now. Let me catch up on chat. There's actually quite a few castles. Yeah, I always have a hard time determining what is a castle versus some other, you know, large structure. What makes it a castle necessarily? I know there are ways to define it, but anyway, this is our flying pirate ship thing for now. It looks like escape velocity is going to do it. So I think what I'm going to do, I know we're not jumping into a lot of color here, but just so we can keep on pace, let's go ahead and do another roll. Laying it on kind of thick. All right, here we go. Here's our roll. Whoa. Oh, an 11. Okay. We just had an 11. I'm not going to put it in dice jail yet. If it rolls another 11, we'll get rid of it. Let's see what happens. It's a natural 20. Look at that. What does a natty 20 give us today? Let's find out together. All right, let me go ahead and make a note that you guys wanted escape velocity. And then let's head down to natural 20. I mean, we can't really have anything but a natural 20. Usually a dirty 20 is what you call when you have modifiers that get you to 20, but every 20, maybe that's the tagline. Every 20 on Roller Troll is a natural 20. I don't know. All right, so this is going to rely on you, chat. Greetings from the edge. What is our postcard going to say? Chat sends a message, and what I'm looking for here is like the main type on the front of the postcard, not like, this message comes from you, in the deep of space. Hello, like it's not like a full-on, message. It's just the greeting, which if we look at the placeholder, that's what I was putting right here. So we can have like a greeting and then a little, tag or whatever right there. That's the idea. That's the idea. I'm going to move our little spaceship down just a little bit. Just a little bit. I may actually make a border edge while you guys are voting. I'll make sure I'm on the right color here. A little bit of a border. Borders are a lot of fun, mainly because you can break them. Having rules is fun so that you can break them. That's the lesson here. Okay, and I'm not gonna forget about escape velocity. You guys spent some hard-earned votes on that, so let's not forget it. But I think for now it's gonna be pretty fairly easy. I think I'm just gonna do some whoosh lines. I could imagine this being various stripes in color. Does that make sense? I mean, these lines are the whooshiest, clearly. I mean, you can clearly see how whooshy they are. And it helps to make sound effects too, but I don't think they're needed at the moment. Maybe. Okay, so that's our escape velocity for now. We need the best copywriters. Yes, exactly, Jack. Exactly. Copywriters, don't be shy. Speak your truth about space pirates and being on the edge of space. Let's see if we have anything. Okay, all right. We have nothing. So I'm going to continue to work on the ship, and I'm going to make sure I name this ship until we start getting thoughts in chat. I don't really know what these are, to be honest. I just made some shapes and said maybe that'll work. As you do. Now, I would recommend, if you're like going about making your own little spaceships or, flight heavy. Ooh, is this the wrong layer? Of course it is. Okay. I'll fix that. Select those, merge those down. Now we got it. Okay. But yeah, I would highly recommend finding reference, looking at, spacecraft and or other, maybe even concept art from sci-fi genres, that sort of thing. I guess the sci-fi genre. But it is fun to riff. What are we supposed to be doing? Oliver, you're supposed to be giving us the greeting that goes right here. Whoop. Like, I don't know, greetings from the edge of space. I mean, it's a little simple. It might be a little bit on the nose. But that is kind of all you have to do. I was just giving chat an option to chime in. I'll keep working on whatever these shapes are. I am gonna look at some Space Shuttle reference and see if there's something. I don't want to. I'm not gonna change the front of this. I mean, we could drop a wing out here, like a tiny little wing. Whoop! A wing that would absolutely not do anything, but it's kind of fun. Just want to make sure there's some thickness on it. And maybe there's even like a little thing under it. Yeah, it's not too shabby. I think that'll work. Would you even see it over here? You might. You might. It might peek out. Look at that. Look at that little guy. Just a little boop. Probably wouldn't see it, but I'm gonna flip it around. It doesn't bother me where it is, so I'm gonna leave it for now. If it had jumped out at me like, no, that doesn't work. And who's to say, I mean, we could really make this some kind of cosmic combo and extend that. Would it work? No. For space, does it really matter? No. It's kind of like I think there is definitely a Star Wars vessel that has something like the A-wing. I don't know. Y-wing maybe. I don't know. No, that's a Y. I don't know. There's one that is longer on one side than the other. Not that we're riffing on the star battles, but that'll work. Sup, bro? Is that Penny? Is that your? I kind of like it. What else could there be about it? Sup, bro? How's the pale blue dot working out? That seems a little bit too snarky. What if we did another one? But what if there was more? What if we had... I'm going to just go around this and add 2 more wings. Wait, in fact, I want this one to be kind of stacked in behind it. Is that going to work? I don't think that's going to work. I do want... I don't know, it might be okay the way I had it. I'm trying to change the angle slightly. Maybe it's a bottom fin. Yeah, that doesn't quite work either. Or what if we take this one? And extend this. Okay, that's gonna work for me. That's gonna work a little bit better for me. Also helps with the combo idea, I think. And this does come from underneath. Ooh, now I'm thinking, what if the cockpit of this can swivel around? Like it's not just this orientation at all times. Something like that. Okay. You rock it. Umacorn, yes. Sup, bro? You keep rocking it. Can we do that? Can we do that? All right, let's try it. How about that? Let's just try it. So, whilst we don't currently have a roll going. Is that correct? So let's go ahead and do that. That was our nat 20. Let's see if we can get another poll going. All right, here we go. Here we go. No 11s. No 11s. A 4. All right. See what 4 can give us. What do you got for us? What do you have for us? Yikes. Okay. Revealing. Oh, okay. Can't stop the signal, Mal. Yes. Another quote from Firefly. Are sketty cables. A mess of cables or some sort of, can't stop the signal, Mal, is some sort of communications array. I don't know, something. But then the other one will be just a mess of cables coming from something, somewhere. So those are the two options. Let me make a note. I'm going to go ahead and make our note as best as I can. Sup, bro? Wait, what did we say? Sup, bro? And then the other one, keep rocking it. Rocking it doesn't quite rock it, has to be it. So what was it? I think Umacorn said it. It was you rock it. Okay. It's, I don't know, it's a little bit more Valentine-y, but you rock it. Are we spacing it like that? Doesn't matter. Let's just get to it. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, let's go to our trusty type tool. This may be the second or third time we've ever done the type tool here. Ew. Get a little rusty. And I think sup, bro, is what we're going for with, you know, I wish there were a way to make sure that wasn't aggressive, but we're doing it. Blame chat. If you have that emoji, go over to Twitch, Adobe Live's Twitch, and post that in the chat, because we don't have those here. I'm just going to scale this up, holding down Shift. In fact, I don't like that font. Oh, that's our first alarm. It is time. We'll get back to this. We'll get back to this. But it is time for a troll toll. All right, so this is how this works. I'll wait for this to go away. If you're over on or you want to go and participate in the troll toll, head over to the Discord. where you can just where you can put in whatever you want me to draw or add to this theme of space pirates, postcards from the edge. It has to be sort of thematic. We'll try to make it work if it's not, but that's the plan. That's the goal. So head over. Oliver is already over on, Jack as well is already over on the Discord. Oliver has posted the blame chat emoji, which we do have on Discord. Okay, back to this font. Let's change the font. I'm gonna go to the properties, and I'm just going to make sure. Oh, let me make that the size. I'm gonna choose just selected fonts. Wait a minute. This was the one I used in the promo for this, so I think I'm gonna work with that. Sup, bro? Sure, why not? But let's make it a little bit larger. So I'm gonna drag this and scale this up. Maybe we'll add a couple more exclamation points. One is never enough. Come on. We know that. So somewhere in here, I think, and we can change the size of this if we want. I'm going to change the color just to keep it more of our sketch color. And I am going to tighten it up a little bit, just changing. I'm going to make this, might be too much. -25. On our kerning. And I think that works. This P looks a little bit too far for me. I'm going to see if I can just grab this using the type tool. Hello. Type tool. What? Why won't you do type? There we go. And I believe I can hold down. Nope. It's Control. Option, Alt. There we go. It's Alt and the arrow keys. I'm going to pull this back. Actually, I want the U. I'm going to pull the spacing back slightly, holding down Alt or Option on the Mac. Escape. So that's a little tighter in there. I like that. I might do that for the S too. I don't want to get too close. But yeah, I think that looks a little bit better than the normal natural kerning. Let's do something funky with it. Let's add a little wave to this. I want to be able to edit this, so I'm going to make this a smart object. Convert to smart object, and then if I press Control Command T, it'll take us into our transform, and then we can go up to our warp tool. And here in the custom warp, you have a bunch of options. I'm going to choose flag so that we get something a little bit more, you know, like, hey, this is a postcard looking thing. And you can manipulate it with this little widget, I guess we'd call it. Or you can come up here and talk about the strength of it or change the strength of the bend by manipulating that. Or you can go one way or the other. On the ends, we could do like, I don't know if that's, I don't think that's helping. So let's just leave that at 0. Call that done. Now, if I ever want to go back in and change this, I can just double click into my smart object. But I think we're good for now. Oops, sorry about that. And then, so let's find another font, and I might put like a flag behind it as well. Oh yeah, okay, so the troll tool. How about a robot hanging off the edge outside of the spacecraft somewhere? Absolutely, we can absolutely do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a note of that real quick. I know a lot of things to juggle. Today. And then I'm just going to say robot. It might have like, maybe it'll be like a mechanical arm or something. I don't know. I'll get the right file in a moment here. So we wanted to add rocket to this. I'm going to make a little sketch layer underneath this, just so we can. I'd like to have this as a little flag potentially, and you could do this with any kind of shape that you'd like. And I think we'll add. Well, I don't know what the size of it's going to be yet, so let's just type in rock at another exclamation point. This one we'll leave at 1 exclamation point. I'm going to increase the size of this. Well, I'm going to attempt to increase the size of this. And I don't want this font. I'm going to go ahead and set that back. I think I want something else. I don't really know. If you guys have a good font we could do for this, let me know. Probably this would all be something like that. Maybe we can. Maybe it could be a little bit. Do we have a different weight? This is a regular. We have a black. That works. I'm going to make this color. So something like this, right? It almost looks like you ratchet. I don't think that's the intent. I do want to take this down a little bit. There we go. That way the like little connecting, I don't think they're necessarily ligatures in this case, but the cursive connects a little bit better. What was that? Okay, I'm gonna name this banners. And then, whoop. Or maybe that should also be a little banner. I don't know. But I'm gonna get rid of this. Maybe that's what we have for now. We'll leave this as it is, and I'm gonna put it in its own layer and call this type. And then we're gonna hide this for now. Chat, very important. Remind me to turn that back on when we review this at the end. Meteor Rodeo. Was that the, oh, that was the troll tool. Okay. I think we're going to go with Oliver's Robot. And Can't Stop the Signal Mal is winning. Man, we've got so many things flying around right now. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll and make a note of that. So we've got a signal array or a communications array of some sort. And we've got our robot. So let's do one thing at a time. Let's take first, everybody together. Breathe in, count of 5. Breathe out. I'll let you do that on your own count. All right, let's get into it. This sup bro keeps yelling at me. Sup bro? Classic phrase for me is don't bro me if you don't know me. I'm not down with that. Yeah, multitasking. Well, something is tasking. I think I messed up something here on the ship. It looks a little funky for me. Oh. I think this is, after having lived with it for a few minutes, I think this cockpit is a little twisted for my liking. So I'm going to twist it. Oops, didn't mean to add that. I'm going to twist it back. Just to help the vibe for me a little bit better. Fit that form that I'm looking for. It's not quite right still, but that's okay. This is just concept. This is a concept. Let's see if we get there. Flip it back. Okay, so we got to add this robot. I think maybe we'll do like a robot. So we have to add a robot, and then maybe the communications array and the robot are all together. I kind of like that. Let's do. I'm gonna add some satellite looking options. These are our satellite options, if you couldn't tell. And I think what we're gonna have is almost like maybe an R2-D2 style robot with multiple arms. Ooh, maybe it's like a sphere with an eye. Something like that. With little arms that stick out. And it's ready to like deploy itself to help with anything that's happening. But it kind of lives right next to this communications array. That's where the little hatch comes from. Or where the hatch lives. I don't know, something like that. Kind of see that a little bit better if I zoom in. But we've got a little communications array. I wanted to have a little bit more, I don't know, tower, maybe a tower or not. I don't know, maybe there's a smaller satellite in the front. What's up, Motion Arts? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm not your bro, buddy. Yes, exactly. Oliver gets it. Don't bro me if you don't know me. Maybe a little thing like this. I don't know. Something. I think this works for now. I don't want to add any more confusion to this yet. Yeah, I think that's working. Flip this back to its original orientation. Oliver, do you have, or anybody, do you have a name for the little bot? Okay, so I'm gonna name that. That's all in the ship layer. Good thing. It's all in one layer. It cannot be removed at this point. Classic. I mean, it can. We have the power. We have the erasing power. But we need to get a new role going because I don't think we have anything going. I'm going to double check with the key. I think we're all selected out here on our notes. I'm also going to make a note real quick of that. And then I think all we have left to do is get a role going. Broliver. Yes. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, come on, no 11s. A 5. 5 is definitely not an 11, last I checked. So, let's check out what 5 has. Man, we've done some consecutive rolling. Like, all over. We usually get 1 or 2, or 3 or 4. Bulk shipment or cobbled cargo. So, it's already kind of a mesh of things. But I was thinking we could have like it pulling a shipment or attach something to the ship. And one of them would be more like shipping containers, the shipments. And I guess the cobble cargo could just be other shapes with different containers. I don't know. That's up to you, what you want to choose there. The poll is going to be up over on YouTube. So if you're just coming in, we're live on Behance and on YouTube. I don't know why I said live. We're live on Behance and YouTube. But only the polls can be voted on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. Also, while you're at it, you know, if you like this Adobe content, you can always subscribe and make sure you stay in touch with the community that way. And then back to the edge of space. I'm going to keep working. Hey, what's up, Megan? How's it going? We've got, if you are just coming in, we do have this as our, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and add, this is our greeting for now. This is our greeting for now. It's not going to change, but I am going to put this below so we can kind of, I don't know, we lose our communication tower. Maybe I will drop the ship and the escape velocity down. Whoop. Oh no. Okay. The ship layer does have our border, which why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Control Shift C, Control Shift J. Oops. Is that not going to work for me? Oh, I have to have something selected. There we go. There we go. So that's on its own layer now. Cool. Now, and it's now named incorrectly. It's okay. Falling apart. Just like our ship. We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Docking Bay 94. Jack, is that from something? And also, I spelled border as Borkder. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Now we can move everything down, I think. Let's try. There we go. I like that. You can kind of see everything, mostly. There we go. Okay. Ooh, maybe. Yeah, this way it'll appear as if it's out of the border, which is the idea. Remember we talked about breaking the border earlier? I think that's what we were talking about. May have to move this over as well. Oh, hello. There we go. Something like that. We have a tie over on YouTube on the poll. You know, I'm gonna let you sort it out. I'm gonna keep drawing. I'm gonna turn off this for now. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep drawing. Ties don't bother me. They don't affect me at all. Not one bit. Oh, it's no longer tied. Okay, cobbled cargo is winning. Let's go ahead and end it because I think we've got time. I'm gonna end it before someone gets sneaky. But that does mean we're gonna do some back-to-back rolling here. Okay, all right. 3. Well, what did I just say about consecutive rolls? Fantastic. Actually, it is kind of cool. All right. Before we do that, let's say what cobbled cargo was the winner for that, and then 3. Let's reveal what 3 is. Tanks for the good time. So we'd add some sort of tank, oxygen tanks, maybe. Maybe they're vats of something. I don't know. Tanks for a good time. And meet the greebles. If you don't know what greebles are, they're all the little details and like paneling stuff. We could definitely add some of that to our ship. It kind of already through the sketches looks like it has some greebling. But I'm going to let you guys figure out what you want to do with tanks for a good time and meet the greebles. Or, and I'm going to get started on the cobbled cargo. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy of this first off. Then I'm going to save it second off because we hadn't saved yet. I mean, we would have had a backup, but I think I'm just going to do this as maybe some sort of containers on this back panel. And then literally like strap it down. Like stack a bunch of boxes. Something like this. Maybe even one's like falling off the side or something. Not falling, but you know, is attached down here. And then we'll put one more up top. One small, a thinner one here. Maybe like another, just another little box like that. And then add a little bit of, not really detail, but just like make it look like they are possibly, or they have some load bearing corners. Reinforced. And then I'm going to throw a strap over the top of all of it. Like literally come down to meet all of these things. And then maybe that's tied off. And then we'll have that strap over here as well. Something like that. I guess we could do two. We could do multiple. I think having multiple straps would give it a little bit more scale. So let's try that. I'm gonna do like this. Scale to make this look bigger. I should follow that up so that you can understand what I'm going for here. So it looks a little bit larger. I think that works. The pole is up. We have a tie again. Man, I love these ties. I love everything about a tie. I like striped ties. I like ties with little designs on them. I like ties that are, I don't know, tied in different knots. And I even like when the pole is tied. Common misconception that I don't like that. So I tell myself. It is no longer tied. Okay, meet the Greebles. Okay, now this one's gonna be, I'm gonna end that, Jack. This one could be fun. Another poll is up already. Yes. Hey, look, we're going. We're going. Also, things you might find in Area 51. It's good stuff. Tie-dye. I do like some tie-dye. Okay. I guess all that means is it's time to roll. Let's see. What happens? A 19. Whoa. We're all over the map on this thing. That's okay. I'm going to make a note. Meet the Greebles. And then we're going to reveal 19. Captain, my captain. Okay, getting somewhere. Our Cosmo not done yet. Huh. So, what this means, if we go back to our initial sketch, this scribbly things over here, this is either going to be a captain or a cosmonaut or some sort of astronaut. You know what I mean. So that's what you're voting on in the poll. While that is going, I'm going to go work on our Meet the Greebles. And like I said, we're kind of greebly from the sketch, but I guess what we're going to have to do, let me make a copy. What we're going to have to do is clean it up a little bit. Because then you won't be able to tell what is greeble from just sketch lines. And I'm going to choose some panels. I'm going to choose some panels to greeble on. I think that's how this is going to work. Actually, I could make a bunch. That's what I'm going to do. So if you've ever tried to draw a ship or any kind of thing like that, adding the detail of panels and that sort of thing can really help define the shape. If you've seen me before, and I'm sure you've seen this before if you've followed, like earlier, we made basically a tube. Boop. And the contour of that tube helps really define the shape of it. So when you're greebling something, all you're doing now is following those rules of the tube, adding little details, but that can really help define the shape of whatever you're making. Like, it could just add a little emphasis. So that's what we're going to do right now. In some places, not over the entire thing, I don't think, because that would just take too long. I think we're going to do a lot of it on this panel. Maybe this right here. I don't know. I don't know what is happening as far as like how, like, do I want to make these sharper lines like they are actually connected? I liked the curve of the outside shell, and I think I'm going to keep that. And then I'm going to twist this around just for a second so I can get a little bit smoother of a line. Ooh, I like that there's a lip on this too. Hold on. So maybe It gets tricky too because a lot of the fast lines keep the energy of the sketch. So as you start to detail, things sometimes get lost as far as that energy kind of goes away. And it does get tricky. It does get really tricky. I'm going to try to keep this as sketchy as possible as we're doing some of this. And maybe we won't lose too much of that energy. And I'm kind of just making this up as like figuring out what I want to do. Because I definitely want there to be greebles all on this little panel. Hey, what's up, Chris? How's it going? Yes, Oliver's right there. I debated on calling these Noonies or not. Greebles and Noonies. If you know, you know. You know? And if you don't know, then I'll tell you. Noonie is also a different term for a greeble. I think they are the exact same thing. Do I want there to be depth on this? Yes, I do. So we have an inside wall that follows this. Which gets tricky because you won't see it. You wouldn't see it on the other side. You only see it this direction because we're looking this direction. In other words, if we have our box shape, and that box shape has an edge, like so, and you're only going to see, and you're looking down, you're only going to see these two interior walls. And if this was a full box, this would just continue on. But I'm closing this off here because this is a flat panel. That's the idea. All right, let's get to greebling. I do want to greeble on the same. Basically, this is the cut through plane. This is basically the plane. So I want to do my greebling. I'm going to break this up into other panels that kind of sit in the same perspective. They're using the same perspective as the cockpit and this far wing. You can't look at this wing because it is kind of underhung. Word choice, but it is underslung, maybe. Don't look at me, chat. You know this. You know this is a family show. Came for the greebles, stayed for the nearnies. The nearnies. This would be one of those things, if we had time, I would get lost in making more detail than probably would be needed. And basically, just to make greebles, all you have to do is keep stacking boxes up, small shapes, little things. It doesn't even have to be... like you could have wires and other stuff kind of going throughout. And it doesn't have to be nonsensical. There have been many incredible cross-section books that then had to retroactively make sense of the original concepts. Okay. Like I said, I could spend forever doing this. I'm not going to. I'm going to try my best not to. For both for your sake and mine. Plus, I want to get to this captain, right? Because you would never have it be tied. Chat wouldn't do that. Not on such an important role as a natural 20. Not my chat. Certainly not my chat. Yeah, I think that's working. All right, so we greebled that. I think maybe we can add like an extra panel. It's still technically agreeable, but I'm just going to sketch out some other things along the path as you guys figure out if we're going to stay tight or not. And don't make me choose both. We will spend the rest of the hour doing one thing, one choice. As if that's a threat. No one cares. It's like, do what you want. Which is basically that's basically roller troll anyway, right? Hey, Cosmo not done yet. Well, you know what? I'm not going to end that poll yet. So if you want to tie it up again, feel free, because I'm having fun. Greebly. That didn't make any sense, but that's okay too. I want to add greeble. I want to put a curved panel of greebles. Like we were talking about earlier. This is also another way to, like, if I wanted to make this like a ribbed almost, or kind of multi-section, I just took one panel and took it away and added multiple in its place. And then making a curve on top of that gives that a little bit of a bump. I feel like I missed something. Oh no, okay, yeah, this is the tanks option. I was like, did we do tanks? No, we did greebles. Tanks for the greebles, chat. Tanks a lot. And that's basic. You could do this for the entire ship, and when you got done, it would probably look pretty good, pretty detailed, and it'd be heckin' good is all I'm saying. Excuse my language. Okay. We are perfect angels in chat. Of course you are. Of course. Absolutely. We are going to end the poll, and now we're going to roll. All right, I will make a note of that as soon as I can. 10. I don't think we've had a 10. We have not. All right, let's take a look. For first, I'm going to make a note for our... Sorry, no captains here. And that's not a problem. Okay, our 10 option is celestial bodies. Again, keep it tame. Space junk 1d4. So chat, you know what to do. All the polls are over on YouTube, so be sure and do that thing. Let's get on to this little cosmonaut. Start throwing in what you want this cosmonaut to be doing, maybe. I think we're just gonna have, for now, it's just gonna be floating. And if you remember here, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff just so that we aren't looking at it. If you remember our placeholder, it was going to be down here, and I think that's still where I want to stick this. I'm going to make a new layer. Combining those, could combine those. Who's to say our cosmonaut isn't our captain? Maybe it's peeking in. And I'm thinking like the big bubble shield is kind of the path I want to go with it, maybe. I might scale this down a little bit. Just so we get a little bit more I don't know, a little bit more of the body in here. And I'm thinking big bulkiness. Not sure what the gesture is going to be here. Maybe a goofy thumbs up. And one of those giant gloves. I mean, they are saying sup, bro, so maybe the thumbs up works. And yeah, I think we're breaking the corner of this as well. I guess we could combine these. I kind of like the idea now. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. And there's kind of the same situation that we had going on with the Greebles, where, you know, we have this bubble helmet, which we could just leave it as a full glass sphere if we wanted to. But if you want there to be other things about it, other things on it, you're basically just wrapping stuff around that sphere as best as you can. So if we put a center line like this where our head would be, then you could just go out from there and start building. I mean, maybe these little things wrap around. Or maybe this is like a communications piece. I don't know. But you're focusing on putting this around this sphere that is on the head. It's a little dramatic here, I think. I'm going to work on it. The curve is not quite right. That's okay. And it's working just like the Greebles thing was. We're kind of looking down on it at certain points. And then at certain points we're not. Like if I did an angled piece, you would see the top of it. Which I like that. That's fine. Could connect these two. Could help to have like both sides of this. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Because maybe we add the other side of this that is also connected. What's up on 8 Productions? How's it going? So we've got our little sphere here. I wanted this to be a little bit of a soft material right here. I don't know that I want that anymore, but I'm going to leave it as if it is, like it's kind of wrapped. Well, I guess if we get rid of our border. Oh, I like the idea of the hand. The hand's the only thing that's coming out of the border. I was going to be like, oh, we get rid of our border. I like the idea that the hand is the only part right now that's popping out. And I may even move that up. I don't know. Also if you've never gone and looked at like the old spacesuits and things, do yourself a favor and just go check them out. Like, it's like, how does that even work? How does science work? Can someone explain science to me? Big fan of science. Please, someone please explain it. You see, how science works is you do some math. You do maths, and then you start with math, and then you layer on a thick layer of physics and other parts of science. And then you have all of science. That's how it works, right? I think I have to have some sort of tube backpack situation. Because you know what I'm going to do. We're not going to see it, I think, because if we go and look at our sub bro, yeah, you're not going to see it, unfortunately. Maybe I'll put it over here and it goes across the back. But again, if you know me, we're going to have some sort of antennae situation. Oh, maybe it's on the helmet. It doesn't matter. Boop. They have recently turned energy into matter. Amazing. Amazing. Light into matter. Can you turn it back again? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I mean, kind of. I mean, I know that's not how batteries work, but. All right, this is getting a little messy, so I understand. So I do have another alarm that's going to go off, but the condition was if we hadn't started on our character, and this is our character. So we're going to ignore that alarm when it goes off, or if you guys want, we can make that another troll toll. You have to let me know in the chat. Space Junk is winning. I guess we can go ahead and end that. This is kind of getting where I thought it might be at this point. So let's go ahead and end that poll, Jack, if you will. I'm going to keep kind of working on this for now. Maths? What did I say? I don't know what I said. Sorry, Jack. But I know you got my back. I know you got my back. That's half of what streaming is, by the way, is not remembering what you said 5 seconds ago. Because another thought has weaseled its way into your noggin. Especially when you're drawing or doing something like this. Okay. Ooh, I have an idea. But let's make sure we're getting this this other roll in. So let's do that. Okay, here we go. 16. That was quite a bouncy action. Okay, let's go ahead and make a note of our Space Junk. And then 16 is revealed to be Avast Me Hearties. Chat picks a number. Okay, chat. Just start listing out numbers that are numbers that rhyme with 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14. Well, I guess technically just these. 15, 17, 18. So only those numbers. The ones you see that are not selected. Pick a number. Oh, Purple has a question on Behance. Okay, question: for standing and working like this for 2 hours, what kind of physical exercises does one need to do? A fitness program? Well, one, don't lean. I lean back too much a lot of times, and I always forget that. Lots of stretching is all I can say, especially hip mobility for me. Just make sure that I'm doing some hip stretches. Okay, now that the physical fitness test is out of the way, I'm going to look at some of these. Ooh, I know what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. Let me see if that number came up. Oh man, I don't know where it is. Oh, we got another alarm. But that's okay. That's the alarm I said was our character alarm. I'm going to go, if someone said 7. Oliver said 7, but Oliver also said 8. There are a lot of numbers. I know. I really want to get one of them, and I don't think it's going to happen. But we're going to go with 7. Let's see. No, it's not the one I thought it was. Okay. So, Distress Call Carl. This is a reference to Carl Sagan and his pale blue dot. Go look it up on YouTube. It's a great little speech about the planet we live on. But we may put him. I may do a little face in the cosmonaut. Maybe that's our Carl, or the calculating. Calculating. That's incorrect. Calculating. Boop. Companion. That's going to be if we wanted to add a little robot or something on the shoulder of our something here. If that's also in the original layout, basically like the parrot or whatever that a pirate captain would have. So go figure out which one of those you want to do. We'll make it work however it works. But I had an idea. Someone said combine the two. So I'm going to make a copy of this. And I think I'm going to put, or I'm going to attempt. I'm going to make, an attempt will be made to put a captain's hat on our cosmonaut. A pirate captain's hat, to be more specific. And now which one do I want? Which style pirate hat? Oh, I guess we could do the classic one. Which I never quite understood, but that's okay. There's the kind that does this sort of thing. Which kind of works. I'm going to work on it. I think sometimes they are the, what is it? Tri-corner style. That's not what this is. Okay. Something like that. And I guess they would still have like a feather. I don't know. That's also going to get covered up, but that's okay. What kind of logo should they have? I'm going to do a little... There we go. Little Scully guy. Okay, good enough. Good enough for a feather, I think, for now. I think it will be covered by our banner, so I'm not super concerned about it. The poll is up. Looks like just the Carl Sagan tribute is going strong. I'm glad. Put a little decorative fringe around the edge, a little hat banding. There we go. So now we do have a pirate. What else do I'm going to work on while you guys still vote? I'm going to work on the ship a little bit more, just to lock down some of the look of it, because we've got a bunch of void areas which I've left intentionally, and I may have to erase them out too. We'll probably have enough time for about maybe two or three full rolls, potentially. I believe this would also be a greebled area back here, like a panel that you would see like we did on this side. It would be on under the communications array thing. At least that's what I feel like. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I'm just kind of doing some of the same shapes. And also remember, this was like some weird cosmic combo of a bunch of different things. So maybe the panels don't line up specifically, correctly every time. They're making do with what they have. Something like that, maybe. It's weird too, because I've talked about I feel like I have a decent tangent-o-meter, but greebling also brings up like all kinds of tangents, so it's a good check on seeing if you can see where those tangents are going to be a problem, whether you can fit them in. If you don't know what a tangent is, it's like generally where two lines come together and make tension. That's usually unnecessary and distracting. They can be used in a way that draws attention in a good way. For instance, if I put our space junk, which we're going to do here in a moment, right here, not terrible, but what would be better is if it's floating and I overlap it like this. That's much better, because it's not creating tension. What would be even worse is if that overlap gave us a sense of where the space was too, but if I made this where it was just touching, it creates this weird tension of not knowing where this is in space, and that's not, it confuses the viewer, can make it a little bit distressing even, but you can use that. Again, we talked about We talked about rules and breaking them. You can use that 100% to your advantage, in certain scenarios to make it, you could draw attention to something, or, you can emphasize a point. All of those things. Anyway, I have to roll a d4. I believe I owe you guys a d4 roll, right? Because I forgot all about that. We can go ahead and end this vote. I ended that poll. And then space junk, let's go and let's just do a quick and dirty d4 roll. 1. I roll, you can't see it. Wait, maybe you can see it? Yeah, see that bottom number somewhere. That bottom number is a 1. Trust me. That's a 1. You'll have to trust me. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do one little chunk of space junk. Do you guys have a preference of what that could be? While we're here, I'm going to make a note of that. Note of distress call Carl. Oh, here we go. Let's see, where are we? What have we done? Okay, cool. So I'm guessing we won't see anything up here, because I was gonna be like, oh, we'll put our planet up here and cool. But I think we won't see it because of our type. Oh no, we will see it right there. Perfect. Perfect. Let me flip this around in its original orientation. And I'm going to drop in a planet back here with some rings. Wait, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to leave this. We're supposed to be doing space junk. I think we will have a piece of space junk in the front here. I confused myself. But I like the planet idea, so I'm going to leave it for now. What should our space junk be? 1 space junk, yes. What should we have? What could it be? You know what? I think I know what it is. Unless I get a suggestion, I think we'll have an old tube TV, CRT screen. Is that what it's called? Yeah, a little cathode ray action. And you know what? We can even put antenna on that. And maybe we've got, I don't know, wire kind of floating. The remote's closer to our something like that. And on it, we've got the little pale blue dot video that I was talking about. And there's the Earth. Something like that. It's very light. It's very light, but it's there. There we go. So now distress. I guess if we're going with a theme, I'm going to go ahead and merge those with Control E. And I guess if we're going to go with the theme, maybe Captain's not thumbs upping, but really maybe he's holding a picture of Carl Sagan. How did this happen? I don't know. I was like, oh, I'll throw a reference in. And here we are. And it's a Polaroid, of course. At least I'm attempting to make it a Polaroid. And is it going to look like Carl Sagan? I don't know. Probably not. Because, you know, it's just going to be a sketch. Got about 20 minutes. I am going to look up reference, even though I don't know that we'll see it. What's up, Keys? How's it going? Oh, yeah. We can do this. He had kind of like the Steve Jobs turtleneck vibe. At least that's the way I would see it. Clean, super clean haircut. A little bit of a, not a mullet, but the hair was a little bit longer. Again, not really make. I'm just gonna put it's a human picture. Which, by the way, I do need to do another roll because I was hoping to have some space friends join us on our little outing today. But I think this works. Probably had some writing to remember the date. You had a call. What did you miss? Claiming credit. Ryan? Claim all the credit he'd like. We're working hard today, Ryan. Trying to get all of these things done. Speaking of, what was the last thing we did? I'd say our distress call Carl is both on our television warning us to take care of our beautiful planet, and also a little picture. All right. You know what? Let's just do it. Yeah, blame Ryan. I won't blame chat this time. I'll blame Ryan. All right, let's roll. See what happens. Natural 20. Well, you know, we've already had that, so I think it has to go in the jail. Sorry. Okay, here's our little jail. Whoop. There's the little thing that's going to go in. Until next time, friend. Oh. Boop. There we go. And then let's roll something else before we lose our steam. Whoa. That is a 3, which we've already rolled, but, you know, we're not going to toss this one in jail just yet. Let's try it again. That's a 4. Okay, last chance. Last chance. We've already had a 4 and a 3 and a 20. We have not had a 13. We've no 13 yet. So I think we're okay. Ooh, let me make a note. Let me make a note. We picked 7. And I think that's everything for now. Let's see what 13 has in store. Oh yeah, this week is Friday the 13th. So lightly used and scuttled. Maybe we get another ship. Buoy, it's good to see you. Oh, buoy. So we could have a little, I don't know, a little buoy, little space buoy. I don't know. You guys have to vote. We'll find out. So something has been scuttled. And oh, buoy, we've got something else to look forward to. In the meantime, since we don't have anything going, I'm going to go back to our ship again because I like working on this. And seeing if we can't make it, you know, a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more ship shape, if you will. You probably won't, but if you will. Probably just more paneling of some sort. Using everything we've talked about with contours, getting all of that to help us define the shape of this thing. I like how it looks like it's wearing a collar, sort of. We can fix this a little bit. We can add still collar-esque, but maybe there's something like that. That may even make it look more like a collar, which I'm not too mad at. It's like it's locked into place a little bit, maybe. Let's see how voting is going. Buoy, it's good to see you. I don't know where that's going to live. Because, man, originally I thought I'll just scale this down. But I like how full the image is with the ship. Maybe we'll... Oh, maybe we'll leave it out here in front of our planet. But it hasn't won yet. It hasn't won yet, so we'll see. Buoy, we better make it count. Yes. You know, all these horrible puns. Just a reminder that don't forget to check out File New tomorrow, and take a look at our schedule, which is available on our Discord. I know some of you have already been over to our Discord as we've done a troll toll. But no, honestly, I was going to say when I was talking about the puns, there is a new Muppet show. Please go watch it. Please go watch it. I really enjoyed it. I hope it gets better from here. But glad to see it back on. I think we need more of that in the world at the moment. Boy, you boy, you boy, you boy. Hey, yeah, Ryan got a shout out. Of course. Oh my gosh, speaking of shout outs. Did you guys see Val on earlier? I have missed Val on the Adobe Lives. It's good to see Val for a few minutes. Ryan was also there doing his hosting thing. Which was great. I mean, it was good. I mean, it was great. It was great. It was good. But Olympics? Yeah. Is it good? I keep getting ads for it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it all depends on your taste. Wait, are you talking about Foul New? Foul New's great. And yeah, we get ads for that too. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that buoy because buoy looks like that's what's going to win. And the buoy is going to be our final. I think it's going to be our final one before we wrap up today. I'm really kind of disappointed. I had multiple aliens, foreign alien friends that were going to come and join us, and we didn't roll a single one of them. How crazy. How wild. All right, we got to get to this buoy. Buoy. Yeah, boy. All right, have to stop doing that. All right, on the 8 production, thanks so much for hanging out. We only have a few minutes here anyway, but I think I'm going to do like a little, almost looks like a buoy you would see. I may ditch the planet, actually. Where did I put that? Is it on? Oh, it's on the ship layer. Okay. I think I am going to ditch that solely because it's not really defined. And it may just be distracting. So we're going to say these are zipping past the buoy. Maybe we'll put another one. Maybe these are like space lane markers. You know what I'm saying? No, you probably don't. But we've got one here. I don't know. I like making up little stories. That's what this is, kind of what Roller Troll is all about. I don't know why it looks like a Doctor Who Dalek in a way. But we have one little buoy. Maybe there's some flame coming off the bottom. No, it would be moving if that were the case. So it's kind of sitting there. Maybe it has a little... something like that. And maybe there's one in the foreground right here. This may not look right, but I'm going to try it. Yeah, I don't think that's vibing. You can kind of see it. There's a lot going on through this area, so I think I'm going to ditch that. I think it was a fine idea. I am about to lose everybody on Behance. We're going to keep going for a little bit on, you know what, maybe I don't know what the standard operating procedure is at this moment anymore. It seems like all the shows go over now, so I'm not sure if we're supposed to be cutting them or not. But Behance does run into the hour. YouTube runs until the end of the hour. Behance does not. So if you lose me and I'm still going and you want to follow, jump over to YouTube. So I think that's going to wrap up our little buoy. What else do I want to do? Kind of just clean up at this point. I'm digging the ship. Definitely could be more detailed, but I don't know that, for the time we had, I think we did pretty stinking good. Not to, I give chat full credit for all of that. Good on you, chat. I mean, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing the things you voted for. If you weren't here, I wouldn't know what to do. Wouldn't have a clue. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. Jack. I don't know where this is. I know it's on this row. But I'm going to reveal some of these. We're only going to do one of them. That's not it. Not it. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Captain Jack's choice. Watson gonna be? Okay, Jack, pick something. We're not gonna have time to do it, but pick it anyway. 1, 2, 6, 8, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18. Just waiting on chat. We'll wind up the end of the show. If Behance is still on here, bye everybody. If we're going to be heading over to YouTube or staying on YouTube until the end of the hour. Jack, you have to pick a number. 1, 2, 6, 8, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18. 15. All right, let's take a look at what 15 had. Maybe I'll post this in the Discord if we don't have time to actually work on it. Maybe we'll start on it here. I mean, what, you know, in true Paul Tranny style, we'll start a new project with 3 minutes to go. Is there air you don't know in retrofit? All right, Jack, which one is it going to be? A or B? So this was we were going to add a breathing device, you know, like something I don't know, like to our cosmonaut or the captain, depending on if it was our captain. And it would probably be something that would fit here with a hose, because I'd mentioned having hoses earlier and we didn't do that. So that would be that. Well, Jack, you still have to pick A or B. And retro was going to be, I don't know, making it a little bit more maybe 60s, 70s style, futuristic. Anyway, I think we're going to have to leave it at this breathing device or panel or whatever we call this. I kind of like it. I mean, it was super quick, but I kind of like the idea of it. I mean, they're in a helmet, so I'm not sure it really matters, but it could be some fun piratey detail. I don't know. A, Jack says A. Oh, good choice, Jack. That's what we're working on. I will make a note of this before we leave, but that is pretty much going to do it. Let me turn on, let me make a note real quick. Let me turn on our little postcards. What was it? What was it? Space Pirates postcards from the edge. Here, let me make another adjustment to this. There we go. Just so we can see everything. That's what it's looking like. Chat chose this. Don't look at me. This is all chat. I'm not taking credit for any of it. Or blame Ryan. I don't know. Something like that. You can blame Ryan. So it says, "Sup, bro, you rock it." This is our postcard. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week for another Roller Troll. Thanks everybody. Thanks, Jack. We'll see you guys real soon. Bye.